EastEnders Steve McFadden, 62, keeps it casual in a black jacket and grey joggers as he purchases a new £3,000 fold-up bike.
Idris Elba's wife Sabrina turns heads as she sports a chic bob while joining the actor at the COP26 Climate Change Summit in Glasgow.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, in quotes, feels like Prince William, close quotes, but, open quotes, wouldn't know where to begin, close quotes, on roll.
Tipping Point fans distracted by contestant's facial hair as he tries to win big money.
Hello and welcome to a special 50th episode of Barely Contained, the podcast surveying the latest harmful emissions of showbiz journalism and pledging to achieve net zero in listener figures by 2030. I'm Chris Beckett, and for this special half century I'll be raising my bat and a glass alongside Matt Withers.
Yes, we are literally not literally alongside, we're facing each other, but this is our first in-person recording since the end of 2019.
Whee!
Yes, so we're here, we have red wine, it's very exciting. Yep, a little clink of the glass there, we're reunited. If people don't remember why we've been doing it virtually, Chris, there was a bit of a kerfuffle where the government made everybody stay at home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a, we didn't want to make too much of it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a to-do at the time, but it affected the recording of this. Anyway, episode 50, they said, Chris, we'd never make it.
Those naysayers.
Well,
where are they now?
Thank you for sticking with us. I mean, we'd love to come and thank you all individually. And, I mean, logistically, we probably could.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Premier Inn nearby.
But thank you very much for sticking with us to episode 50. This is going to be an absolutely blinding story, I know, Chris, to start this special episode. What have you got for us?
Right, well, I have got Callum Wells for the Mail Online, and he has got this story. EastEnders Steve McFadden, 62, keeps it casual in a black jacket and grey joggers as he purchases a new £3,000 fold-up bike.
Excellent. This is the exact quality that people have come to expect.
Steve McFadden was pictured loading a Brompton fold-up bike into his car on Friday, following a trip to Auto Centre Halfords in Hertfordshire.
I mean, a real bit of A-list glamour here to kick us off.
Are you aware of Mr. McFadden's work?
Yes, I know he is one of the Mitchell brothers from EastEnders. I'm going to say Phil.
He is Phil, yeah.
That is as much as I know about him.
Very much the Walford resident hard nut. You wouldn't want to mess with him.
So he's the Mitchell who hasn't ventured off into Sky documentaries about hard men and terrorism.
No, he's very much kept it Albert Square based. The EastEnders star, 62, kept things casual in a waterproof black jacket and grey joggers, which he teamed up with a pair of coordinating trainers.
Yeah, he has. He's very much teamed up. The trainers are coordinated, I would say identical.
I would say that if my dad was to go to his local shoe shop and was after a pair of sports shoes, he might ask for a pair of coordinating trainers.
Yes.
The brand sells state-of-the-art bicycles for up to a whopping £3,000, with this one coming equipped with a shopping basket and security locks.
A shopping basket.
All the accessories. Storing his essentials in a trendy navy man bag, he sported a black baseball cap as he unlocked his grey people carrier. Kneeling into the vehicle's boot, he manoeuvred through a series of plastic bags and a blue cool box before finding a home for his new purchase.
Yeah, we're getting really drilling down now into a man finding space in the boot of his car for a new purchase.
I mean, that could be a challenge on the Cube.
Yes.
Earlier in the year, Billy Murray claimed his former co-star Steve McFadden should be knighted for his hard work on the soap.
There are a lot of questions at the moment about the nature of the honours system. I think if Steve McFadden got knighted, I think the Queen herself would join the barricades in campaigning against it.
I mean, just to say, Billy Murray it's not the same as Bill Murray.
No, it is not the erstwhile voice of Garfield in the films.
Steve notably portrays the role of Phil Mitchell, who made his first appearance in Albert Square in 1990.
Yeah, and rather like Bill Murray in one of his more famous films, Groundhog Day, his life has been the same every single day in the ensuing 31 years.
Yeah, he's never been quite happy. Billy, 79, who played gangster Johnny Allen between 2005 and 2006, believes that his past colleague deserves an honour for being in the BBC One soap for so long.
Do we now give knighthoods for lack of ambition?
Longevity. He told the Mirror Steve McFadden should be knighted. He works so hard, he should be Sir Steve.
I'm glad he pointed that out, because I was wondering what his sobriquet would be if Steve was to be knighted.
He has been in EastEnders forever, and it is tough working in a soap. Robert De Niro wouldn't do it, the big actors wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Robert De Niro wouldn't do it.
The big actors wouldn't do it.
No, would Robert De Niro be offered a role in EastEnders? I imagine that his reaction would be something like, "What the fuck is EastEnders?"
Yeah, I think it might not get past his answer phone machine. You get a script, learn the lines, and then it all changes. It takes a lot of your energy.
Yeah, to do the absolute basics of being an actor.
Phil Mitchell is arguably one of EastEnders' most iconic characters and has been involved in many high-profile stories over the years. One of his most famous plots saw him shot by an unknown character in 2001, who was later revealed to be his ex-girlfriend Lisa Shaw. What a spoiler.
Spoiler alert, I've only just been catching up with EastEnders and I'm only up to 1999.
Callum. Phil quickly became rivals with Billy's on-screen character Johnny Allen, with things escalating during the soap's Get Johnny Week in early 2006, which also saw the return of Grant Mitchell, played by Ross Kemp.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually sponsored by the government to encourage the use of contraception, but they misunderstood it badly.
Johnny was later killed off in October 2006, in which he died of a heart attack while serving time in prison.
Right, so I don't know anything about EastEnders. I've never watched it, but died in a heart attack while serving time in prison. That is somebody who died off camera several years after being in it.
I would think so, yeah. In recent scenes broadcast in the series, Phil's ex-wife Sharon Watts, Letitia Dean, revealed that she wants to become involved in his money laundering scheme. And that's it.
I mean, to be fair, that was a classic Barely Contained, because somebody has managed to get, an awful lot of words out of man buys bike and has to slightly reshuffle the contents of his boot in order to take bike home.
There's some great comments, though.
Yeah, I like KKQD1337 from London, who said, "We need a total ban on knighthoods for actors and singers." As if there was the slightest chance that Steve McFadden would be making his way to Buckingham Palace.
But Slarty B says, "Don't like pap photos, but it doesn't show the bike in a good light if it can't be folded."
Yeah.
Bit of a diss of Brompton there.
Yeah, and J-Strap in the south said that bike will fold up quick enough when he sits on it. Nasty bit of fat shaming. And also, J-Strap, if you're saying that bike will fold up, you don't need to cap up the W in will.
Yeah, and finally, I Paddington Bear from the Cotswolds says, "Why is he dressed like me in the 90s?" Well, I mean, that's something only you can answer, I Paddington.
Right, Chris, now we turn to matters a little more weighty. It's been I think it's currently taking place, the COP26 summit.
I did hint about it in my intro.
You did. I was doodling on my pad.
I was worried it was too subtle.
Yes, but the COP26 Climate Change Summit is taking place in Glasgow. This is where we are hopefully going to end global warming and the disastrous effects it's having on our planet. And so the piece from Mail Online by Callum Wells is headlined, Idris Elba's wife Sabrina turns heads as she sports a chic bob while joining the actor at the COP26 climate change summit in Glasgow.
I get the feeling they may have missed the news line of the COP26.
Yeah, I don't think this was what they wanted people to be focusing on, but it's certainly what Callum's focusing on. It begins, Sabrina Elba looked incredible as she joined her husband Idris at the COP26 climate change summit in Glasgow on Saturday. The model, 32, certainly turned the heads of onlookers at the SECC as she sported a chic bob haircut while cutting a smart black sleeve top. I was confused by the fact that she was cutting it.
Yeah, I mean, that would seem slightly unorthodox.
Yeah, and not very environmental, I should say. You know, we should be trying to encourage people to wear their clothes more, not taking a pair of scissors to
Well,
them.
unless she was making something else out of them, you know.
Oh, yeah, like maybe like a finger mouse.
Yes, yeah, maybe she was cropping her top, but then making a pair of little, budgie smugglers for Idris.
Yeah, could be. Or it could be that cutting is some kind of fashionable term that we don't know.
Yeah, that's probably quite likely.
Day 7 of the event focused on ensuring the importance of nature and sustainable land use are part of global action on climate change and a clean, green recovery.
Yeah, I'm more interested in about the haircut, really.
Well, having painted her lips an unmissable shade of cherry red, the International Fund for Agricultural Development ambassador flashed her pearly whites as she beamed for onlookers.
I mean, when it comes to International Fund for Agricultural Development ambassadors, she really stands out.
Yeah, she really does. She's the one that springs to mind for me. Her fellow UN Goodwill ambassador, husband Idris Elba, 49, looked dapper in a black suit as he joined his stunning wife on stage during the United Nations conference. It is the 26th conference of the parties and represents a gathering of all the countries signed on to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Climate Agreement.
I think there's a certain amount of recycling being done in this story.
Yes, it does go on a little bit. We talk about the police helicopters, a little bit of information, and then we finally get to the comments, which we won't dwell on too much because they're mainly people speculating that she's wearing a wig.
Ooh, okay.
Good Ghoulie said, always need a wig, Wiggo.
Wow.
Stacey's mom says the wig. My God. Famous scientist takes a break from being a famous scientist to say, looks like a wig to me. Fans will not be taken in.
Blimey. I mean, I thought Sir Patrick Vallance had better things to do, but
Yeah,
obviously not.
No, he is quite a noted troll, unfortunately. And Yorkie49 in Burton-on-Trent says, more lectures from multimillionaire hypocrites will put my carbon footprint against theirs any time. Along with most ordinary people, mine probably won't even register in comparison to theirs.
Wow. It's not about the size of your carbon footprint. Well, I mean, it is, but...
Chris from Green Issues to the Green Bays.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, Matt, we have a story from The Express, and this is by Charlie Pittock.
The 1990s gardener?
No, close. Ronnie O'Sullivan, in quotes, feels like Prince William, close quotes, but, open quotes, wouldn't know where to begin, close quotes, on roll.
Wow, so a little delve into existentialism.
Yes. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yep.
I mean, he's, not been part of our content for 49 and a half episodes, but now...
Here he is. Here he is, the troubled Q-man.
The rocket has suddenly come good. Ronnie O'Sullivan admitted he feels like Prince William in many ways, but wouldn't know where to begin on the Duke of Cambridge's role in a throwback interview.
Yep. For those listeners maybe joining us for the first time today, a throwback interview is an old interview that they've dug up apropos of largely nothing.
Yeah. Ronnie O'Sullivan faces Luca Brecel in the English Open quarterfinals this afternoon. The Rocket, 45, cruised past Jamie Clarke on Thursday night, hitting 50 or more in each of his 4 frames as he raced his way into the next round. Currently world number 3, O'Sullivan admitted earlier this week, prior to facing Michael Georgiou, that his pre-match routine had been hit hard by a trip to the kebab shop.
I don't know a lot of these modern players.
No. Where's Cliff Thorburn?
Yeah, where's John Virgo?
He admitted he was all over the gaff a mere 7 minutes before the match started, having been at the kebab shop putting the world to rights with his friends, presumably in his waistcoat. After going a frame down, he recovered to win 4-1. Widely considered one of, if not the greatest snooker player of all time, O'Sullivan had been tipped for greatness since a young age. Speaking last August at the Crucible, he admitted he had embraced the coronavirus pandemic and the absence of crowds. You don't want to embrace the coronavirus pandemic, Matt.
No, absolutely. Keep your 2 meters.
Yeah, I would say that's everything they tell you not to do.
Yeah, I'd say it's easy, really, for Ronnie to keep his 2 meters, because I'd say that the Spider is probably about that amount.
Yeah, exactly. He should know distance, really. At last summer's Betfred World Championship, which the Rocket ultimately won, he said in a press conference, "I've had pressure since the age of 10 or 11. An expectation level that I'd be a champion one day. So, I suppose in many ways, it's like Prince William being groomed to be king."
Yeah. See, I'd say it's like that in no ways. In no ways whatsoever.
Yeah, I used to like a little bit of a post school frame at Riley's, but never did I feel the kind of hand of history tapping me on the shoulder.
Yeah, in general, the snooker rankings aren't hereditary.
Yeah, exactly. If you said to me, "Would you want Prince William's role?" I wouldn't know where to begin. I imagine if you asked Prince William if he wanted to escape from a tricky 5-ball snooker, he probably would be in the same dilemma.
I genuinely don't know what's less. I suppose it is technically more likely that Steve McFadden might be offered a knighthood than, say, Prince William decides to follow Harry, give up royal life and go to California, and the royal family says, "Look, we've got an opening here. Let's get Ronnie O'Sullivan on the line."
But he can play with his left hand as well. So
yeah, how useful that is in being the future head of state and guardian of the Church of England, I don't know.
I think it means that when you're walking down a line, you can double bubble.
Oh yeah,
simultaneous shapes.
You could do it in half the time, couldn't
you? You've got to consider that if you're HRH. But he had it since a child, and it has become natural, I suppose. For me, that's the same metaphor for snooker. O'Sullivan explained he had learned to deal with pressure, having worked his way through the amateur and professional ranks to reach the very top. He continued, "Prince Harry has won a runner."
I think that means
he's done a runner. Sorry, he doesn't want the spotlight. I've been trying to do that all my life. That's why you don't see me at the venue much. I try to keep as much privacy as I can. He said in an exclusive interview.
Yeah, and surely he wants a spotlight. Surely he needs the most adequate lighting possible.
Yeah, you don't want to be like trying to get a 147 in pitch black.
No.
O'Sullivan felt that the Sussex's move to California represented a lifestyle that suited him much more. Pressure has been on his shoulders ever since he posted his first 147, aged just 15. The absence of crowds suited him as he didn't feel the pressure and expectations. He said, "I'm quite private. I don't really socialise much anyway."
Well, he was putting the world to rights in a kebab shop 7 minutes before a World Championship game. English Open, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it kind of goes on a bit, and it talks about how he did receive an OBE in the New Year's Honours List in 2016, even though he said in 2013 it would be a disgrace to give one to someone like me.
Yep.
But rather him than Steve McFadden, in my book. So, Matt, for this very special episode, what have you got to play us out with?
Well, we've got to end the 50th with a pretty spicy showbiz tale. So I have turned to the Daily Star online and Julia Hunt, who reports Tipping Point fans distracted by contestant's facial hair as he tries to win big money.
Right.
Tipping Point viewers could not take their eyes off contestant Johnny during the latest edition of the ITV show. But it was more to do with his impressive beard than his game show prowess.
Comment.
Tipping Point viewers totally lost track of the competition as they became distracted by one contestant's impressive beard. Johnny was one of the competitors on the ITV show on Tuesday, but it was his lengthy facial hair that captured everyone's attention, rather than his quizzing skills.
I mean, he must be reading this in absolute bits.
This is you might have got this, but this is very much a one-fact story. But we need to spit it out. So, what happened next? Well, fans flocked to Twitter as the episode aired to share their thoughts. What on earth is going on with Johnny's beard? Asked one flabbergasted fan. Another tweeted, just got home and turned hashtag Tipping Point on. What on earth is the beard all about? While a third social media user posted, Johnny would look so much younger without that beard.
It just goes to show the third cut truly is the deepest.
Then there is a picture of Johnny, which is captioned, Tipping Point viewers were distracted by Johnny's facial hair, just in case this story's been so nuanced.
Yeah, exactly. In case you'd forgotten. I mean, it is a bit of a mad beard, to be fair.
It's a little bit. He reminds me of the former Formula One boss Eddie Jordan.
Oh yeah,
good shout. Got a bit of that about him, hasn't he? Several admitted they were itching to give Johnny's long locks a bit of a trim. How has somebody not taken a pair of scissors to that beard while he slept? One person posted.
Slightly creepily.
I'm dying to take a pair of scissors this bloke's beard on hashtag Tipping Point. It's getting on my nerves, said another.
Everyone wants to be a barber.
Yeah, well, not everyone, Chris. However, Johnny's locks went down a storm with some viewers, with one even branded his look beard goals.
Well, takes all sorts.
The contestant came in for a bit more stick online when host Ben Shepherd asked him which month of 1666 the Great Fire of London took place. Although he rightly noted that the blaze started in a bakery, Johnny decided to go for a summer month because he felt that fires are more frequent in hot weather.
Good logic.
Yeah, fair play to him. It's quite a tough question, actually. He selected June when the correct answer was September. Tipping Point will celebrate its 10th anniversary next year. Over the past decade, 2 spin-off shows have been created. Tipping Point Lucky Stars features celebrities trying their luck against the machine, while Tipping Point Best Ever Finals showcases the most dramatic jackpot finales from the main show. Tipping Point airs weekdays on ITV at 4 p.m. For more of the same showbiz news from the Daily Star, make sure you sign up to one of our newsletters.
Imagine 10 years of Tipping Point.
Yeah, and we've just got a couple of related articles afterwards. I'm not going to go through these, but we've got Tipping Point fans swoon over retired boxer contestant as he sailed through quiz, and Tipping Point fans slam show with hot contestants land shit mystery prize.
Wow. Well, I mean, I want to read both of those.
Well, Chris, you do that in your own time, please, because we've reached the end of the 50th episode of Barely Contained. Have you enjoyed it?
I've loved every minute of it.
Every minute of the last 4 years?
Well, not every minute of the last 4 years, but some of the, certainly some of the Barely Contained episodes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Right, well, why don't you tell the listeners how they can engage with the Barely Contained brand in the metaverse, as I think we call it now?
Yes, I will. Well, if you want to go meta or look us up on Facebook, you can find us on Barely Contained the podcast, which is a special group devoted fans of the show. But also, if you want to go on Twitter, you can reach us at barely_pod for all manner of clips, videos, bloopers, everything you could want.
And can you find us on Donald Trump's new social network?
Not as yet, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
Not us. Do please subscribe to us on wherever you find this podcast, which I assume is the one you're listening to us on now. So that's Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Spotify or Amazon or whatever floats your boat. And give us a review. 5 stars, please. It all helps. And then the good old-fashioned tell your friends and your family and your teachers, because I know a lot of our listeners are young people.
Hello, young people.
And we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Matt.
Bye.
Bye.